Should I dare say I'm the young person on the panel, so I should get a round of applause as I begin? Thank you so much. Mr. Antonio Guterres, UN Secretary General, His Excellency Mr. Dennis Francis, President of the UN General Assembly, Her Excellency Ms. Paula Narvaez, President of the Economic and Social Council, Ms. Catherine Russell, Executive Director of UNICEF, Her Excellency Ms. Work Zoide, President of Ethiopia, His Excellency Mr. Nicolas Cataldo, Minister of Education of Chile and co-chair of the SDG 4 High-Level Steering Committee. Other distinguished guests, which are all of you, I greet you with warmth and resilience from my people in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean region that has just braved a Category 4 hurricane. I pause to respect the life and livelihoods lost, and thank the United Nations and its partners for your continued support. I am Christina Williams, a young woman from a small farming community in rural Jamaica, who was raised by a father who cannot read. But he was the first person who taught me that the true value of education lies not only in its power to provide knowledge, but also in its capacity to provide empowerment and its capacity to provide change. And it is on his shoulders today that I stand giving this presentation, and on the shoulders of every single teacher and every single education institution that believed in me. But the 129 million girls estimated by UNICEF to be out of school also need someone to believe in them. And the millions of our children and young people in Gaza and Kenya and the Congo and Sudan and Afghanistan and the 110 and counting conflict zones across the world also need you to believe in them. The children in our underfunded early childhood institutions and the millions of young people that cannot accede to higher education institutions or drop out because of barriers to education also need someone to believe in them. But respectfully, everyone, your belief in us is not noble. Your belief in us is our right. It is our right that every child, whether they have a disability or is from a marginalized community, is a migrant, is a refugee, should have access to quality education that is inclusive, innovative, and inspiring. It is our right that students are considered and cared for comprehensively through student-centered administrations that provide psychosocial support and fit-for-purpose curricula that prepare us for the future of work, protect our environments, and prevent future conflicts and crises. It is our right that our mother languages and indigenous knowledge and skills are used in formal education. It is our right that we have access to non-formal learning and lifelong learning, and that we're exposed to technology that do not further divide us, but connect us. It is our right that we are taught by teachers that are fairly compensated, well-equipped, and supported in safe, healthy, and resilient environments. And if you truly believe in us, then fund us. Not through debt mechanisms that further stifle and exacerbate the poverty found in nations like my own Jamaica, but through equitable and innovative financing like debt swaps, donor grants, and tax justice. But while we call for rights, young people like myself are fully aware that we also have a responsibility, which is why we continue to act as stakeholders and co-creators in advancing education. We are the democratically elected student representatives of groups like the Commonwealth Students Association and the Global Student Forum. We are the youth groups at the SDG 4 Student Network. And we're also just young leaders like myself who said to my government during COVID-19, we need to make online learning free for all students. And they did listen, and they made it free for all students in all public institutions in my country. But to fulfill our responsibility, you must ensure that you're engaging us through institutionalized mechanisms that do not rely on your political willpower. To fulfill our responsibility, you must ensure that we are allowed to elect our student representatives. And to fulfill our responsibility, you must ensure that you do not suppress our voices when we demand change. If you notice something, at no point have I used the term transforming education till now. And that is because transforming education is not at the beginning. It comes at the end. At the end, after the meaningful engaging, after the equitable and sustainable financing, after the revising, the updating, the making of difference. That is when we truly transform education. Ladies and gentlemen, in the face of such global crisis and conflict, we have to remain steadfast and we have to remain ambitious as a collective. In Jamaica, we have a saying, we are little, but we are talawa. And that speaks to the power of the few when we work with each other. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, let us all transform education together. Thank you.